What a relief. The long vote count has finally been decided, and Joe Biden is going to be our next president. Jubilation in the streets, people parading, celebrating, beeping their car horns. Great news. But think what lies ahead in practical terms. Not just the coronavirus out of control and a weak economy, but divided government. Because there was no blue wave in Congress. In fact, the Republicans picked up seats in the House, and they cemented their Senate majority. Yes, I know, there are a couple of special elections in Georgia for 2 more Senate seats in January, but winning one of those seats, let alone both of them, is a very, very, very long shot. So for the time being, the schism that cleaves the American electorate into 2 warring camps of red versus blue is now going to be embedded in government in Washington, potentially paralyzing and crippling conditions that will make it hard to govern and almost impossible to resolve the nation's most urgent problems. After the acid partisanship of the Trump presidency, the train wreck presidency, the nation's body politic and political institutions are battered, bruised, and bleeding and in desperate need of healing. And at this very moment, President Trump is trying to reverse the course, shouting stop the vote count, challenging everything legally, and smearing an election process that was actually quite open. Think of the contrast with the last time an incumbent president lost a race for re-election. That was 28 years ago in 1992 when Republican George Herbert Walker Bush lost to Democrat Bill Clinton. And Bush was magnanimous in defeat, putting the nation's needs ahead of his own. Painful as it was to lose, he told me later, he didn't show that. He called Clinton immediately on election night to concede, and he offered help to the new president. And he used words that should be recalled today. This is what he said about Clinton. I wish him well in the White House, and I want the country to know that our entire administration will work closely with his team to ensure the smooth transition of power. There is important work to be done, and America must always come first. So we will get behind this new president and wish him well. It was the kind of graceful, peaceful transition of power that has lent greatness to the American Republic. And in the midst of the corona crisis and the weak economy, it's the kind of peaceful transition of power this country and this new president needs right now. For very soon, Joe Biden will be confronted by a prickly, if not hostile, Republican majority in the Senate, led by Mitch McConnell, who in 2010 signaled his priority to politics. This is what he said back then facing Barack Obama. The single most important thing we want to achieve, we Republicans, is for President Obama to be a one-term president. In short, politics over policy and the nation's problems. In fact, that Republican majority in Obama's second term, the Republican majority in the Senate became so negative, it was known as the Party of No. McConnell stonewalled Obama on judicial appointments and lots of other things. He buried Democratic legislation, and even with Donald Trump in office this past fall, he blocked a vote in the Senate of a new bipartisan package for bailing out our economy. Now, since the election, and he won his 7th term, McConnell has changed his tune and says, maybe we do need another rescue package now under Trump. But next year, when Joe Biden is in the White House, will McConnell be that forthcoming, or will he dig in his heels? Fortunately, Biden has a track record of working across party lines with Republicans, both as a senator and then when he was vice president under Obama. And he's worked with Mitch McConnell. Question is he going to have partners? He's already reached out, starting to work the territory. In the midst of the tense vote count, Biden said, let's bury the hatchet, let's come together. And he said, I'll be a president for all the people, not just those who voted for me. In his words, as he put it, it is time now to put the harsh rhetoric of the campaign behind us, to lower the temperature, to listen to one another, to unite, to heal, to come together as a nation. You know, that rhetoric echoes a bygone era of American politics, when small bands of moderate Republicans in the Senate would sit down with Democrats and actually forge legislation and make compromises, or some conservative Democrats would sit down with the Republicans and do the same. That's how the hard political work of government got done, through compromise across party lines. The question is anybody ready to play that game right now and do bipartisan bargaining? It's going to be not just up to Joe Biden, but moderate Republican senators like Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitt Romney of Utah, and whether or not Mitch McConnell, who's a tough Senate boss that doesn't like rebels, will permit it to go on. Whatever the case, it's going to be a daunting challenge to bridge the partisan divide, thanks in good measure to the acid, divisive legacy of President Donald Trump.